Hello everyone and welcome back to This Is Real Life. I'm your host Sheri and today we are in the garage for another amazing, I was just gonna say DIY and then I also wanted to say organizational. I'm gonna say organizational DIY. It's gonna be great and I'll tell you why. You might be seeing like, Sheri, why do you have your caboodle out in the garage? What's going on? I'll show you the inspiration for this DIY and why I think it's gonna be an amazing DIY. In my caboodle, let me just open it. Don't judge me. Let me just start there. Here we open the main compartment of my caboodle, which I use every single morning. This is where I keep all of my makeup, minus like eyeshadow palettes. So voila, you can see the center area of the caboodle is dedicated to a bunch of lipstick. Now, do I normally have them piled all like this? No, but for the most part, it's pretty piled like this. But some I just had around in drawers because it's like, where do I keep all my lipsticks? And for a person who really just only wears chapstick, I do have quite a few lipsticks. We're gonna make some place to store them. And the second part of the inspiration comes from when I was searching for lipstick organization on Google. Jeffree Star Cosmetics, he has always had for his lipsticks these really, really cute displays and they're tiered. Recently, he came out with this liquid lip white glitter makeup display, which is darling. It is 4 different levels and it looks like 10 across. So this will hold 40 lipsticks, but you wanna know what? It's $30. And it looks like it possibly is just made out of very, very durable cardboard. And it's covered in like white and glitter for $30. So then I was like, okay, that can't be the end all be all, but I do like that style, that tiered style. And of course the Amazon has a lot of acrylic ones, $7.99, $14.99. The acrylic ones aren't terribly expensive. However, they don't hold as many. The ones on the Amazon, while cute in acrylic, I just didn't like them. I really liked the look of the Jeffree Star one more. So I thought, you wanna know what that really is? It's just a little paddle bit drill hole a bunch of times and then tiered out. So I figured, why not get a 2x4 and get a paddle bit and drill, glue them together in a stair stepper sort of a thing, paint it white, voila. This 2x4 cost me $5, well actually $6, because I didn't like the $5 one, but $6. And we can make this to fit our counter space. We can make it to custom fit as many lipsticks as we have. We can just customize this for whatever for $6. So that's what we're doing on today's DIY Wednesday. So while the Jeffree Star one and many of the ones on the Amazon hold approximately 30 to 40. I wanna see just how many, and this is where the customization comes in. Like, how many do I need minimum? And then how many holes do I wanna grow maximum? And 2, because we're making this, and I'm clearly not gonna use this entire length of 2x4, we'll have 2x4 left over so that if we ever grew and needed to make another one, we certainly could. And I don't think this is gonna take that long to do. I think the most difficult part would be the measuring. And now I do have some lipsticks in here that have square bottoms, but if the round hole's big enough, we could probably fit the square bottom lipsticks in as well. 30, 32, 34, 36. So I do have 36. So a lipstick thing that holds 40 sounds pretty perfect to me. Let's get into it. Upon further investigation of our inspiration product, it is 14 inches long and it does have 4 step downs. So we could make this as tall and as short or as short and as wide as we want it. What I wanna do first is I have a couple different size paddle bits here and I have a couple of different lipsticks. This one seems to be my thickest and this one seems to be an average. I'm trying to pick a paddle bit that will accommodate the most maximum size. And I'm thinking it's going to be the 3/4 inch paddle bit. So if you don't have a paddle bit, now you kind of know 3/4 inch if you need to go out and buy one, because you'll need one for this job. We have our drill. This is gonna be basically our last step. Well, not our last step, but kind of near the end of the steps. Our first step is we have our one length, and I want to say this maybe is in 6 foot or 8 foot length of 2x4. It looked like it was a hole, and then maybe there was a 1/2 inch space in between. So if I put my point of my drill bit at the 1, the circle will extend out to here. So then if I put my drill bit at the 2, 7, 8, 9, and it would take it to 11. Maybe there should be more of a gap in between. See, this is gonna be the toughest part. It's doing the math to figure out how many holes you can get with enough gap in between the holes so they don't bleed together. You know what, we might have to do a tester. So what I wanna do is I wanna cut this into 12-inch lengths. And we're gonna do a little staggering method, but I'll show you how that's gonna work. Okay. So we are on the ground because I have my chop saw out. No chop saw, no problem. You can use your jigsaw. You can use literally, if you wanted to, a hand saw. Any sort of saw that you have, you can use. I just happen to like my chop saw for the speed of it. I'm gonna do one 12-inch length first so that we can just test a couple of drill holes before we really get going into it. Let's measure out 12, make a little line. Make sure we're flush, and chop. Yay. So let's put this over here for a quick second and get our drill. I'm just staying on the floor because in a minute I'm gonna use the chop saw again. So what I wanted to play around with is if I put my ruler down and made a mark at every inch, mark at the 1, a mark at the 2, a mark at the 3, a mark at the 4, you get it. I have to figure out what is the center of this board. Even though it's called a 2x4, it is not quite 2, nor is it quite 4, which is just so deceiving. Just tell me that it's 1.5 by 3.5, really. So what is the center of 1.5? That would be 3/4. So to streamline this process, I'll draw a straight line across, but for this little test board, I just want to try to drill 2 holes to see how close they are if we do drill them at the 1-inch mark. So I'm gonna put the point of my paddle drill right in the mark where I said at 1 inches and in the center of the board. So I'm gonna go kind of easy at first. Now, haven't decided depth yet, just testing how far apart the holes need to be so that we can get our exact length first. Now I'm gonna put it exactly where the 2-inch mark would be and see if we're too close. Now I'm off in my lineup, but I actually don't think that that is too close at all. Look, not too close together at all. If we use this length of board, that gives us 11 across. I think that's pretty good. But again, as many holes as you want to get across, you can just use placing a hole at every inch. So if you only wanted 5 holes across, you would cut your board at 6. If you wanted 8 holes across, you would cut your board at 9. So it just depends on how many across you want and how many tiers you want to have. I kind of like the idea of 10. So I'm gonna cut all my pieces at 11 inches. See, now that it's figured out, it's gonna be a breeze. Okay, now that I have my 4 tiers of 2x4 cut. When you buy 2x4, they naturally round the edges. I heard it's to avoid splintering. So what I wanna do is I wanna take that edge off, both the top and the bottom, so that it's perfectly square. So I'm gonna use my table saw to do that. Do you have to do this step? Absolutely 100% not. Well, maybe I don't wanna do it off the top. I'm gonna do it, okay, so here's my thought process. You're like, Sheri never fucking plans these things out. She just flies by the seat of her pants. Well, because in my head, it just seems easy. But now that I'm looking at it, we are definitely gonna have to chop off the bottoms because we need to make the stair step effect. And if we don't chop off any of the height, then obviously when they're all stacked together, they'll just be a big block of wood. This is gonna be our tallest piece at the 3.5, but I am gonna trim off the bottom so all my bottoms have a clean edge. Now, if you don't have a table saw to do this, again, a circular saw, your jigsaw, you're just gonna have to be extra steady and extra straight. I wanna pick my prettiest, nicest, full length of 2x4, which is this one. And this one is going to be my full height. And then the rest of these pieces are gonna get chopped lower and lower and lower to create the stair step effect. I just wanna shave the tiniest hair off of this one. You don't have to, but just know that on your other 3, you are gonna be taking off maybe a 1/2 inch. The next one's gonna get a whole inch. The next one's gonna get 1.5 inches chopped off the bottom. So be prepared for that. And don't be nervous of the table saw. This is just a little portable guy. I've had it forever. I feel like they might be kind of expensive if you want one and you don't have one. But I know these little portable guys, they're not terribly bad. Maybe something to look into if you want to be a master woodworker. Also, as I was thinking about these little lipstick holder things, if you got a bigger paddle bit and you had single eyeshadows, put your wood flat like this and you could do single eyeshadows. Inside a drawer, get wood like this. Oh my gosh. Plop these in your drawer and then boom, boom. You get to take these out like your own custom like palette. I'm just saying. I love paddle bit drills, come to think of it. They're very like cool. I just really dig them. Okay, perfect. So like I said, I just want to shave off the very, very bottom of this just to make this bottom really flat. I don't want to take off too much height though, because I need all the height I can get. And let's run her through. Yay. And now we have a super flat, super smooth edge. See, I almost like that better than the rounded. Now that I see it, super flat, super smooth, I think I'm gonna do both sides. Again, you don't have to. This is just me being super, super anal about it. Okay, so this is our tallest height. Just a little over 3. Now what we need to figure out is what we need to chop off of each of our remaining to make it a stair step. I'm gonna cut off a 1/2 inch from the bottom and then clean up the top of stair step number 2. And then of stair step number 3, I'm going to cut a full inch off the bottom and a hair's breadth off the top. And then on our final stair step, I'm gonna cut 1.5 inches off the bottom and a hair's breadth off the top. So I'm staggering them by 1/2 inches as we go down the staircase. I'm gonna run these last 3 just to get the tops all straight, and then we'll cut from the bottom up a 1/2 inch, 1 inch, and then 1.5 inches. So I cut the hair's breadth off of my remaining 3, and now I wanna get them to the appropriate height. So we know that this one is 3 inches high, and we want the remainders to step down a 1/2 inch each time. Here's our next piece in the stair step, our 3 inch high and then our 2.5 inch high. We're creating the step. Look at that. That's pretty. Well, I wonder if I can cut it a little bit. I think I can cut 3/4 off just to make this step, the rise over run, a little bit, steppier. So I want to cut another 1/4 inch off of this number 2 piece. So instead of 2.5, it's gonna be 2.25. I'm gonna run this through. Doesn't really give me easy math for the remaining, does it? We'll figure it out, don't worry. Boom. But again, you can use your own dimensions. This is your lipstick organization rack, nobody else's. You can make your steps as spaced apart or as close together as you want. I just happen to be doing 3/4 of an inch, but for easy math, 1/2 inch works fine too. Oh yeah, I like the look of that stair step a lot better. So 3/4 and 3/4 of an inch is what's coming off the next one. What are those two numbers added together? 1.5. So this next one is gonna be 1.5. Perfect. Let's cut it. Oh my God, this is almost perfectly square. Stair step number 3. Now 3 tiers is actually kind of cute. I kind of almost want to stop at 3, but that will only hold 30 lipsticks. But you could stop at 3 if you only wanted to hold 30 lipsticks. This is a nice size to me. I'll cut the 4th one and see if we like it. We could remove it if we don't like it, but I kind of like this right now. I'm really loving how this is coming together. You can make so many of these out of one length of 2x4. You can make one for you and one for a friend out of a 2x4 that cost you $6. That's $3 a lipstick organizer. Really? Christmas gifts, all I'm saying. let's cut this one so we can be done. Oh my God, that is cute. Okay, 4 is cute too. 3 or 4. 4 is really cute. We're gonna stick with 4. So now you're wondering, how are we getting these all together? You know, wood glue. But first, I wanna drill my holes, and then I wanna sand everything to a smooth finish. Then we're gonna wood glue it together, paint it, call it done. But look at that. Okay, look at our cute little stair steps. I love them. Now we just need to drill our holes. So we need to mark where our holes are gonna go on each one of the stairs and then drill them. I am going to get a more fine tip pencil. Are these sharpened? No. Hold, please. Let me go get a fine tip pencil. Okay, with fine tip pencil in hand, we're gonna mark it every inch, and then we're gonna mark at the halfway point between the width of the board. It is here at 3/4, so I could draw a straight line and then intersect my 1-inch vertical marks with my 3/4 horizontal mark. And we're gonna do that on all of our steps. Boom, boom, board 1. Let me do these 3 and then we'll drill. Okay, we've got all of our horizontal divider lines and our 1-inch marks on each one of our stair steps. Now it just comes the tedious, repetitive process of drilling all of our holes. So with my paddle bit in, I need to figure out how deep I want the hole. And on this paddle bit, there happens to be a hole. So I'm actually gonna use that as my guide, and I'm going to do the handy dandy trick of making the tape flag. So now we know that all of our holes will be the same depth, which is that much. So now we just have to drill. I'm gonna put the tip of my paddle bit right where those lines intersect. Be as precise as possible, going straight down. I'm gonna drill until my flag touches my wood. Yay, hole number 1. Now I just need to do that 39 more times. And if you can try to stop and start as few times as possible, that would be best. Ooh, yay. This is coming together. Perfect. Let's test it. Uh-oh, this paddle bit might be too small because that's pretty tight. It's like I need a hair bigger paddle bit. They're in there snug. Well, they won't knock over. Actually, it's kind of perfect. Let me go get a couple other lipsticks because I think this one might be a pretty thick one too. Actually, now that I keep shoving them in and shoving them out, it's actually kind of perfect. We're sticking with 3/4. Let me go get a bullet lipstick just in case. So I got a couple of different, the bullets, no problem. This one doesn't fit, that one fits. So this is a chapstick, which I do need right now. It's not necessarily a lipstick, so it might not even belong in here. It definitely fits those, and it definitely fits these, but I do think it might need to go down a little more. I'm gonna drill down a little bit more on these two and then we'll test again. Okay, so I moved my tape to the bottom of the hole, just shy of a 1/2 inch. And now I feel like your taller glosses will stand up a lot easier. So yeah, I think a 1/2 inch is a good hole depth. So that's what we're gonna do all along. Boom, 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 boom. 38 more times. So all of my holes are drilled and it actually didn't take that long at all. Now, what was a little difficult, and I was trying to be as precise as possible, was putting the tip of the drill exactly at the cross mark. Didn't work out all the time. Be it, a little ripple in the wood that kind of moved the drill just a hair. Even if it moves just a hair, the end result of where the hole is not in line with the other. So while not perfectly straight from top down, like this one, I did really good for some reason. Don't ask me why. My first one got a little away from me right about here, but I feel like from the front, when your lipsticks are in them, no one's gonna be able to know. They're pretty straight. They're not super straight, but they're pretty straight. I think with more practice, I could get it to where they were all super straight. So just know that your holes may be a little like this, but I don't actually think that the little tiny bit of a wave is gonna make that much of a difference from the front of the display. Now all we need to do is sand it. We need to sand the tops real smooth, then we can glue it all together and then paint it, and we're done. Okay, so I have everything perfectly sanded. First, I used 80 grit sandpaper, and then I went back over with a really fine 320 grit. And to get inside the holes, I literally just wadded up sandpaper, like I rolled it into a tube, and then went inside each one of the holes, which was a little tedious and they're probably not as smooth. I was hoping I had a Dremel, but I don't. A Dremel, if you have a Dremel, would be perfect to get those really smooth. Now that that's done, we get to wood glue everything together. Now, I don't have clamps. You know, I own like 2 clamps. So what I'm gonna do, wood glue on these 2 and then tape them really tight. Then wood glue and then another layer of tape and then wood glue. So I feel confident that that will hold that. Should be easy, and then we just let it dry. No nails, no fuss, no muss. And wood glue's strong, so don't worry, it will hold it. This full back here, and then I wanna line up my bottom edges and my side edges as precisely as possible. And I'm gonna tape around the whole top part so it's real snug. Keep everything lined up nice and even, squeezing tightly, taping tightly, really getting it secured and squeezed tight. Now, lay that, and let's do this piece. Make sure our bottoms are all straight. Squeeze it, squeeze it tight. Good, we're squeezed. Press, I might even put it on the cement. Feels good to me. I think for extra added security, I'm also going to tape around this way, just so everything's as squeezed, as tight. Oh, geez. Oh, yeah, Sheri. Feel good about that. Ooh, this is good. All right, I think we're good. Now we just wait. Once this is all dry, then we can paint it. Yay. So I'm probably going to just let this dry for like 24 hours. So the next time you see it, it will be painted and on display with all of the lipsticks. Not bad for a half a board of 2x4, $3.50 plus some paint. You got yourself a lipstick organizer that holds 40 lipsticks. Okay, so are you ready for the lipstick organization reveal? I painted it white. It looks pretty good, so let's see it. Dun, 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 dun. What? Are you kidding me? Look at how great that looks. I know, right? Nice and painted white. All the lipsticks are organized. Looks pretty good. Okay, so as you can see, I don't have this sitting on my bathroom counter because, you know, the bathroom has a lot of mirrors and shit in it and it's just not great. So I just put this on my dresser for now. Now, full disclosure, could I have just been dun 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 and then shown it in all of its splendor and been like, and done, it's perfect, it worked out great? Yes, I could have, but that's not the way I roll. In my head, this was way better than it turned out in real life. There are a couple of functionality issues with this situation. The holes for each of the lipsticks are not wide enough, even though I thought they would be, but once it's all painted and all of that, I feel like I put like 2 or 3 coats of white paint on it. It does make some of the holes a little tighter. So like while these bullet lipsticks fit quite nicely, these ones right here, they're not even in the hole. It's literally just sitting on top. Watch what happens. Just watch the magic. Don't bump it, because if you do, oh, what? Yeah. There's a couple things I would definitely change if I made this again. Do we even need the fucking holes? I mean, couldn't this just be flat? And then just stairs where I could set the lipsticks on it flat. If the holes aren't fitting the lipsticks anyways, and they're gonna fall down anyways, what's the big damn deal? You might as well just skip this step of making all the holes and then just make these levels flat. Glue 4 pieces of wood together and just make cute little steps for your lipsticks. As far as I'm concerned, I would have much rather have done that, to be honest. Before I put the lipsticks in, I was like, this is great. I love it. Oh my God, I'm amazing yet again. Like, you've done it, Sheri. These holes are so tight that those were hard to get out. Some of the holes, because of how the drill bit went in, they're a little crooked. So like trying to make a skinnier lipstick, that's not flat. What? So some of the bases of the holes, like the bottom part of the holes, you know, I didn't go perfectly straight in. The bottom of the hole is a little slanted. Oh, that one fits nice in there. But if if the lipstick is skinnier than the hole and doesn't fit snugly in the hole, then it doesn't rest properly. For real. The only ones that fit actually really good are these Jeffree Star, like the gloss ones. If you had 80 million of the gloss, this would work great. But I don't have 80 million of the gloss. I have 5. Yeah. My number 2 issue, even though we measured and drew lines and found the center points, and I was trying to be very, very, very diligent about making sure the holes were completely straight, they're not. Kind of. Oh, whoops, that one's way up there. Oh, and then we come back down to here and then back. Oh, and then what the shit happened here? That one's way up there. Look at row 2. Like, we have some serious issues with row 2. Row 3, kind of okay, but again, still not in a super straight line. And then row 4, I don't know what the fuck happened, man. I just don't. While I don't want to call this lipstick organization a complete fail, because I mean, really, in the grand scheme of things, it is pretty cool that we made this and we kind of made it on the fly. I don't know if I'm a fan. I mean, I think I would do things differently now that everything's said and done. To be quite honest with you, I really think I would have just made these stairs. So like, let me show you what I'm thinking. Oh, lipsticks down. If you made no holes and these were just flat stairs and then you just backed your lipstick up to the back, that would act as support. And then the only one that wouldn't have support would be this back row. But if you put this like up against your counter, up against your mirror, then this back row would have the support. Like, it sits so nice and pretty. I just think it would be better if I could just lined these up without trying to shove them in the holes. Do I like the idea of the hole? Yes. But for a man-made hole, no, there's too much variance, I guess, in the hole. It's not as precise as I would have liked it to have been. There's too much human error in drilling the holes, from lining them up to how deep they are to how straight you go down. For my money, I would just rather have a step that I could just set these on. Like, I'm setting these in between where the holes are. And to me, that's better. That's 10 times better to me. For real. If you wanted to make your own lipstick display, I think the wood idea is great. It doesn't take much wood and it doesn't take much time, especially if you don't drill the holes, which is probably what I would go for if I did this again. Do I think this is a total 100% complete fail? No, I don't. Do I think it's as beautiful as I made it sound in my reveal? No, I don't think that either. But you know, you live and you learn. And this is one of those I definitely learned. I'm a big enough person to say when I made a mistake. I would just change some things, like I'm telling you right now. I don't think this is a bad thing to make. And I think considering the cost of what these are going for on the Amazons and on beauty websites, like, I think that's a little ridiculous. Getting some scrap wood, gluing it together, not drilling holes, and just making some cute stair steps, I think that's all the organization you need, to be quite honest. That would cost you like $2. For that, I would say make this. The thing is if the paddle bit was just a hair bigger in circumference, I would like this more. I can't fit every single lipstick in here. That's why I'm not liking it as much. It wasn't the best size. I thought it would be the best size, but it's not the best size. If you want to drill the holes for more like lipstick stability, I think the holes are nice, but you definitely need to take your widest bottom lipstick and match your drill bit up with that, and then like a hair more. If you don't already have a drill bit and you don't feel like you want to go buy one, I wouldn't. I would just do the stairs. I'm serious. The stairs are cute. Then you don't have to worry about, because you want to know what a pain in the ass it was to get the paint all the way in these little holes? It was a pain. I did a sponge brush and had to go like whoosh, 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 in each one. Probably took me more time to paint inside each of those little holes than it did for me to actually drill the little holes. So lipstick organization, not so much. Not the way I did it, at least. Take this and then modify it and make it your own, and then it will be amazing. Okay, so yeah, that's that. They can't all be winners. What? We went like 2 years straight with every DIY Wednesday video being complete and total successes. We were bound to come up with like a partial fail eventually. This happened to be that fail-ish. It's not a complete fail. I will not say it's a complete fail. It's just like not as great as I thought it would be in my head. But yeah, with some modifications, I think it would be perfect. Had I known that before I drilled all the holes, I would have definitely made those modifications and then it would have been perfect. But this is real life. Shit fucking happens like this. That's all I can say. So yeah, if you like this video, please be sure to give it a big thumbs up. Even though this organization didn't work as planned, it doesn't mean it's a thumbs down. I mean, there's always this that you can thumbs up, right? So if you like this video, please be sure to give it a big thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel. Be sure to ring that notification bell so that you are alerted to all of the DIY Wednesday videos I push out, which is every other Wednesday at 5:30 Pacific Standard Time. Make sure you share this video with your family and friends, especially so you can tell them what not to do. And as always, thanks for hanging out.